City of Stevens Point Plan Commission meeting, recorded September 2nd, 2025.
All right, I have 6 o'clock. We will call the City Plan Commission meeting to order. Can we get a roll call, please?
Mayor Wiesa.
Here.
Alderperson Kneebone.
Here.
Commissioner Artson. Here. Commissioner Beacom.
Is excused.
Commissioner Miskoviak.
Here.
Commissioner Rice.
Is excused.
Commissioner Schuler.
Here.
Is, oh, yeah, I guess he is. All righty. We do have a quorum, so we'll continue. Let me share out the PowerPoint first. You guys always do such a great job putting together a little PowerPoint with everything on it. Item number 2 is the report of the August 4th and 12th meeting of the City Plan Commission. Those minutes and actions were included in your packet.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
We've got everybody jumping at seconds. Let's give it to Arnson. Yes, sir.
Minutes are really interesting. I know that organizations have had conversations for years of what they really should be. Mm-hmm. And the statute says you just really need to have motion and action. That's officially what minutes need to be. And as staff people, we've always known that the more detail you can put in there, the better they are for when you have to come back to something. So there's like a balancing act of what to put in. They're not intended to be a verbatim transcript, obviously, but they're supposed to reflect just kind of the high points of the conversation, and they become that when we approve them, saying, yeah, that's a reasonable representation of what we talked about. And so with that, I have a question about page 6 of the packet.
Okay.
It's the 1, 2, 3rd bullet down. I was happy to see that Akun responds that the commission could take action on designating only specific lots in the preliminary certified map in the packet. We also sort of had a discussion about it, and at some point, the city attorney, and I think you, Mr. Chairman, indicated that we're really voting all or nothing on it.
And so, to refresh people's memory, this was the rezoning request. We were acting on a request from the owner.
Yes.
So it would be out of order for us to modify that request without their consent.
Well, even though the one of the criteria that we use as plan commissioners in the code indicates that we have that ability. And so I guess I would like if we could add an additional bullet indicating that the chair and the city attorney indicated that it was all or nothing vote.
Okay. Adam, you want to make that note? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and without belaboring this too much, if someone requests a stop sign at 4th and Division, we can't say, okay, but we're not going to do it there. We're going to do it at Fremont and Michigan. That doesn't work because they're parallel, I think. But you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
So the request at that point was for this lot to be rezoned. Could we have said, okay, we'll only rezone this spot to that request? Maybe. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it, though, because that wasn't the request. Right? If I ask you for blue M&Ms and you say, okay, I'm going to give you green Skittles, that doesn't jive.
Well, then maybe we can clarify that point when we redo the code in that section of the administration that allows the plan commission to consider that. I guess make a note of that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And if we need to, we can bring the city attorney back for clarification too. Yeah. Any other comments regarding those minutes and actions? If not, the motion is to approve as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And that is approved. Item number 3 is a public hearing with subsequent action on a request from Chris Stehle for a conditional use permit to construct an accessory dwelling unit on the property located at 301 Georgia Street North with the parcel identified in your packet, consistent with chapter. What?
Sorry. I thought the motion was for the August 4th minutes, and we had August 12th on there as well.
We did. I'm sorry, before we enter this one, is there something you wanted to go back on the 12th?
Oh, so they were just August 4th and 12th at the same time?
Yes, right. Just like they're listed in the agenda.
Okay.
We can go back.
No, that's fine.
Was it a concern or just maybe a
No, I
comment
just
or a
thought,
change?
I assumed we were doing it separately, so
I apologize.
party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth. Public hearing. Consistent with Chapter 23.01, Sub 15, Sub B. Adam?
All right, so the applicant is requesting this conditional use permit to convert an existing detached garage that's 780 square feet in size into an accessory dwelling unit. As part of this proposal, the garage use would remain on the first level, on the first floor of the building. The living unit would be located on the second level, which will comprise of one bedroom, one bathroom, and then that associated living space and kitchen space as well. I know a few Plan Commission members were on the commission when the city adopted our first ever accessory dwelling unit ordinance back in 2022. As indicated in the staff report, there's a number of criteria included as part of that ordinance. Some of those which are listed as conditions of approval. These would be the requirement of having separate utility connections. You wouldn't be able to tie in the ADU directly from the house. It would have to have separate connections off of the street. And then the second condition being that there's a restrictive agreement that would have to be recorded between the property owner and the city, essentially indicating that the property owner will agree to continue to reside on the property while the ADU is being occupied. On this slide of the screen, you can see a floor plan for the ADU as well as exterior elevations, this being, I believe, off the east elevation of the building. You can see it looks pretty similar to that of a detached garage, just a little bit taller with that exterior stairwell to provide access to the second level. Staff would recommend approval, and I have the applicant here in person should there be any questions.
Okay, before we start, Adam, just a point of clarification. Since our ordinance already requires separate utility connections to accommodate the accessory dwelling unit, and because the restrictive agreement between the property owner and the city is already required, is it appropriate or redundant, or maybe just a good reminder to have it as a condition?
Yeah, you could say it's redundant. I did it more just as a reminder.
Okay.
Because the restrictive agreement, for example, is one that's kind of forgotten about, but we as a city will not grant occupancy of the structure until that agreement is recorded.
Right. So Commissioners, items 1 and 2 are already required by ordinance, but the request is to add them as conditions, just as a reminder. Okay, before we open up the public hearing, are there any clarifying questions from the committee? No. Okay, then I'll open up the public hearing. Anyone wishing to offer testimony on this request, step forward. Name and address at the lectern, please.
Yes, my name is Lynn Markham. I live at 302 Georgia Street North, so directly across the street. I'm glad to see this. I believe it's only the second ADU in the city. It's directly across from me. The only change that I see that will affect me is it's going to look a little bit different. The garage is going to be taller. Okay, I'm fine with that. I really appreciate that it's within the existing footprint, that they're not taking down trees, they're not paving, they're not adding impervious surface, no additional runoff. So to me, it's another housing unit with almost no impact on neighbors or anything else. So I'm in favor of it. Thinking a little bit more expansively, I think it's good planning policy to avoid sprawl if you just build up like this. I spoke with one of the Village of Amherst Village Board members today, and she said that they also added ADU language to their zoning ordinance within the last couple years, and they have fewer hoops than we do. They have it as a permitted use in any residential district, and I would ask the commission to consider that when doing the zoning rewrite, particularly for situations like this where what's the impact? I don't see that there is any. So, thank you.
Thank you. The public hearing is still open. Public hearing remains open. And for the third and final time, the public hearing is open. Seeing and hearing no one else wishing to speak, we will declare the public hearing closed and move towards the action item. Lynn, thank you very much for coming and saying that. If you recall, when we were discussing allowing accessory dwelling units, several people came out and it was Chicken Little syndrome, right? Oh my God, they're going to be in every yard, and people are going to be looking over my fence, and none of these things happened. That's why it's a little more restrictive than I think even we would have liked. But maybe now that we've had it in place for a while, and is it only the second one? I thought we had a couple more.
Second CUP that's been brought before this, the first one, they did not go forward.
Yeah, okay, maybe that's what it was. But yeah, maybe now that's been acted a while, we can calm some of those fears and maybe loosen up some of the restrictions. So thank you. Commissioners, what are your wishes?
I move to approve the conditional use permit to construct an accessory dwelling at 301 Georgia Street North.
With staff recommendations?
With staff recommendations.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Schuler. Discussion?
Quick question. Oh,
Sure.
Mary,
No,
after-
go ahead.
No, you go.
You were a second. Mary didn't even raise her hand.
I was
Jeff.
starting to, and Jeff was higher, so he wins.
Commissioner Schuler, then Alderperson Kneebone. Aldermister?
Just a quick clarification of what the type of occupancy requirements are for a unit like this. It's identified as a one-bedroom, it's got a room that could be a bedroom, it's not identified as such. I'm curious about what the city's expectation
Adam?
is.
Yeah, so the occupancy agreement would say that the property owner would have to reside within the principal structure on the lot for a period of at least 12 months during a calendar year.
10 months?
10 months, yes,
Okay.
not 12.
That's what I thought you said.
Yep. So that's really the brunt of the agreement. And then obviously that agreement would be tied to the property should a future property owner, or should there be a real estate transfer of the property and a subsequent property owner would wish to continue utilizing that ADU.
The occupancy-
And the
ADU
occupancy would
itself.
fall under our existing code.
Okay.
So three unrelated people, up to
Okay.
3 unrelated people, and then there's the minimum square footage requirements.
Okay, that's what I was curious about, because I don't know if anybody watching just has that on the top of their.
Yeah, this
head.
would not allow 4 because it is not owner occupied.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Alderperson Kneebone.
I just had a concern, maybe the applicant could answer, being how it's the upper part of a garage. I know I've got gasoline in my garage for my lawnmower. I've got some Roundup for the weeds and sometimes when I'm sitting in the car when I get home, I don't turn it off right away. Is there any requirement or need to shield the living space from anything like that? Or,
Sir, I got to have you come up to the lectern if you want to answer.
I mean,
You're not obligated to answer either.
I'm certainly in favor, but I was just.
Generally speaking, they take that into consideration.
I'm a little concerned about, just kind of toxic
Well,
exposure.
the base, or the garage part below has to be heated. So I think about 50, 60 degrees. So there's going to be no car left on via because of it being heated, so you don't have to warm your car.
Okay.
You have to heat it due to the pipes and stuff like that, freezing and stuff. So that's a requirement. So that would maybe kind of shut down the whole aspect of carbon monoxide type vehicle poisoning and stuff like that. I am a firefighter EMT for Portage County, so I'm not too worried about the whole fire aspect per se. But I have it all in safe storage and stuff like that.
Great.
But also too, so you guys, can I ask a couple questions since I'm up here?
You can. The
Or-
questions would better be
Well-
directed at the zoning administrator, though.
Okay. Well, I thought it was related people that have to be at this residence the whole time.
I mean, it could technically be unrelated people. Obviously,
Okay.
it wouldn't apply in this case if it were
Right,
one of your
right.
children.
Exactly.
So.
But I was like, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the only other thing.
Okay.
Okay. Did I
Thank you.
answer that good enough? Okay.
Any other questions? The motion is to approve with staff recommendations for conditions. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that is approved. That will go to the Common Council 2 weeks from today. Item number 4 is a public hearing and subsequent action on a request from the City of Stevens Point to amend Chapter 20, the Subdivision Ordinance of the Revised Municipal Code of the city. Said request amends 20.06 sub 2 pertaining to the diameter of cul-de-sacs.
Very
All the
riveting.
exciting stuff we get to deal with, huh?
So as included in the memorandum, there's been a fair amount of infill development over the last few years, in this instance requiring the construction of either public or private streets. As indicated in our subdivision ordinance, if there's a proposed street to be installed greater than, I believe, 500 feet, there is a requirement to have a cul-de-sac terminate into a cul-de-sac at a minimum diameter of 110 feet in width. Naturally, over time, as fire apparatus gets longer and larger, because of that, there's a need for a larger diameter so that the turning radii of those vehicles would be adequately supported with the road infrastructure. So the recommendation before you is to bump up that minimum diameter from 110 feet to 124 feet. This recommendation was reviewed and approved by our fire department and public works department, and so the recommendation is to approve as indicated in the packet.
Pretty cut and dry. Before we open the public hearing, any count? Yes, sir?
Oh, a public hearing too, okay. I'm just wondering where the diameter is measured. Is it asphalt? Is it curb to curb? Does it include the gutter? Just out of curiosity, what's that radius?
Curb line to curb line.
All right, thanks.
Okay, with that, we'll declare the public hearing open. Anyone wishing to offer testimony for this request, step forward. Public hearing is still open. Chris, you sure? You good? Fair enough. Okay, Ginger, nothing? Okay. Public hearing is still open. And for the third and final time, the public hearing remains open. Seeing no one from the public wishing to speak, we will declare the public hearing closed. Bring it back to the commissioners. Commissioners, what are your wishes?
I will move to approve changing Chapter 20, the subdivision ordinance pertaining to the diameter of cul-de-sacs going from 110 feet to 124 feet.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. And discussion there? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that is approved. Item number 5 is a staff update on the zoning code rewrite. They've been working very diligently. Adam, you want to give us an update?
Yeah, so 2 updates. There's a few public informational meetings scheduled throughout the month of September. The next one being September 10th. This will be next week Wednesday at 5:30 over at McKinley Elementary School. This will focus on the Church Street and Patch Street corridors, more on the city's south side, plus the additional meetings in September as indicated in the packet. The other update I'll mention is we're nearing the end of this first phase as part of the public involvement process for this zoning code rewrite. As folks recall, really the heavy public engagement began about mid-May and will conclude through about mid-October or so. At that point in time will be more of a hard transition from public engagement to more of the draft and refinement stage of the plan, kind of the less exciting component of the project, but really where the rubber hits the road and putting policy to paper. Just as an update for you folks, and I guess anybody who's listening as they're watching this video, there will be a special October meeting at some point in mid to late October. I'll reach out to you folks in the coming days to try to schedule a specific date. For this special meeting, I plan to cover really overarching policy recommendations that's been identified through these various means of public engagement. This is really going to serve as more of a white paper for myself in drafting these new code sections, as well as you folks for reviewing the draft sections that are provided to you. Another thing that will be presented is the first draft purpose statements for the new zoning code, sign code, and subdivision ordinance. I'm sure Attorney Beveridge would concur as well, but the purpose statements, while not really known and visible as much for members of the public, are really the foundation for what makes up those respective codes. It really establishes the why of why we have a zoning code, why we have a sign code, why we have a subdivision code. So for that special meeting, expect to get a draft statement for those three codes for your review and refinement. That is all.
Okay. Just for those watching at home, September 10th, 5:30 at McKinley Elementary School. September 18th at 6 p.m. at McDill Pond Association at Ben Franklin School. September 23rd at Midstate Technical College, and September 25th at the SPASH, room 1000. So hopefully we'll see you there. And I think the last thing we have is a report from Director Kivila telling us what's going on.
Oh, man, boy, would I love to. Open your ears wide. In relation to the bids, both the downtown bid and the Portage County Business Park bid have been in the process of searching for a new executive director. They have since offered the position to Karen Margolewski, who will be joining us on October 1st. Super excited to have her, and we think she will do wonders for the bids, so we're excited. Forest Creek subdivision, not a lot of changes regarding this. We do have 6 more lots set to close on September 10th. The developer that is buying those 6 lots would like to start on one of the bills that they're proposing right away this year, if possible, and the others would come next year. So looking forward to that starting. Staff has also been working diligently with USPS to install cluster mailboxes in the subdivision. That has been a new venture for staff.
It's a new law, which annoys me a little bit.
Yeah. New requirement meant to help USPS. Instead of having individual mailboxes on a rural route, they have cluster boxes, so they're only making one stop getting the mail, or 1 to 2 stops getting the mail to 60 people all at once. And then
That was a cluster, what you said?
cluster
Yes,
mail.
yes.
Cluster box. Okay.
Cluster box. But really, that's what it is, right? So, you could expect that in an apartment, but in a subdivision, I think you're putting an unnecessary burden on the homeowners. Any place else in the city, and they'll deliver the mail to your door. But I guess 70 cents doesn't get us what it used to.
Staff has also been working diligently with TDS to install fiber throughout the subdivision. So that is in progress. Shopko redevelopment. Chris has been working with a variety of developers that have sent in information and preliminary proposals. Staff has been working with the redevelopment authority, who are now the owners of those lots, to kind of provide direction to staff on which way we want to go. Staff will also be coming to the City Finance Committee to discuss more of the incentive side of things and where they're comfortable with offering incentive to help also guide staff forward. So that will be coming forward to Finance and RDA here in September. City Hall, the decision was made to continue on the build new option at 1039 Ellis. So staff and the mayor's office has started the process with Somerville Architects, preliminary kickoff meetings, getting everything kind of planned out for the rest of the process. So that continues. Everything else is mostly informational. We will have a new intern starting on September 3rd. Anna Sager from UWSP will be joining us. We also had a recent departure from our front office and have since made a promotion to Lauren Deloney, who has been promoted to the community development technician, and we have rehired for the permit technician position. Rebecca Taylor will start on September 10th in our front office. So looking forward to being back up to, I'll say, full staff. As good as we're going to get at this point.
Great. Any questions for the director on any of those items?
I just have a comment. I was over by the Forest Creek subdivision, drove around. Those houses look really nice, and it's really coming along very well. They look like they're fairly affordable, too.
Yeah, no, the builder has done a great job at making those affordable, offering a variety of styles. You know, there's
Yeah.
some smaller, and then there's some more
Check it
moderate
out.
sizes.
It
so.
could be a nice place to live.
All right, with that, our agenda is exhausted. We are adjourned at 6:25. Thank you all.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.